It's the 25th of the month. You open your banking app, not because you want to, but because you have to. You need to know if you can fill up the tank, buy groceries, or cover that one bill you've been quietly hoping would wait another week. And when the number shows up on the screen, your stomach drops a little. Not because it's zero, but because it's almost zero. And you still have 6 days to go. You close the app. You tell yourself you'll figure it out. You always do. And somewhere in the back of your head, there's this voice. Maybe it's a video you watched. Maybe it's something your coworker said, telling you that you should be investing, that you should be building wealth, that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. And you think, for who? For people who actually have money left? If that's where you are right now, if that scene felt familiar, then stay here. Because this video was not made for someone with a $500 surplus at the end of the month. It was made for you. If you're new here, subscribe before we go any further. I put out videos specifically for people who are tired of financial advice that doesn't match their actual life. Now let me say something that most finance channels won't say out loud. The overwhelming majority of investing content on the internet is built on a hidden assumption. It assumes you already have something left over. It assumes there's a surplus, even a small one, just sitting there, waiting to be optimized. The whole framework of pay yourself first, automate your savings, max out your retirement account, all of that assumes there's already enough coming in to cover everything else first. But what if there isn't? What if your rent went up, your hours got cut, your car needed a repair, your kid got sick, or you just live in a city where the cost of everything quietly outpaced what you earn? What if the reason you don't invest isn't that you lack discipline or financial literacy, but that the math simply doesn't work in your favor right now? That's not a mindset problem. That's a structural problem. And nobody talks about it like that because it's not comfortable. It's easier to say cut your lattes than to admit that sometimes a latte isn't the issue. The issue is that the system wasn't designed with your income in mind. I'm not saying that to make you feel hopeless. I'm saying it because I want you to stop blaming yourself for something that was never fully in your control to begin with. I've talked to people who make $2,800 a month and feel guilty for not investing. People who are paying off a credit card and a medical bill at the same time and still feel like they're failing because they saw a YouTube video about index funds. People who have $23 in their checking account on a Wednesday and feel shame about it, like it's a character flaw instead of a cash flow problem. You're not bad at money. You're working with very little margin. And that is a completely different problem with a completely different solution. But here's what I also know. Waiting until you have more money to start thinking about this is exactly how another 3 years pass and nothing changes. So let's talk about what you can actually do, right now, with what you actually have. Here's the thing nobody tells you about investing when you're broke. The money is almost not the point. I know that sounds insane. Bear with me. When someone invests $500 a month, yeah, the dollar amount matters. But when you're starting with $10 or $15 or nothing, the amount you invest right now is not going to change your life. Not immediately. What changes your life is the behavior, the habit, the decision that says, I am someone who puts something away, no matter how small, before the month eats it all. Because here's what's actually happening when people build wealth from nothing. They don't start with a strategy. They start with a reflex. A small, almost stupid-looking reflex that they repeat until the amount grows. Let me show you the math, and I'm not going to dress it up. If you invest $10 a month starting today for 20 years with an average annual return of 8%, which is a realistic long-term average for a basic index fund, you end up with roughly $5,890. That's not a life-changing number. I'm not going to pretend it is. But here's what that number actually represents. It's the proof that you did it, that you built the habit. and habits scale. Because the person who consistently puts away $10 a month is the same person who, when they get a raise of $200, doesn't absorb it all into lifestyle. They redirect $50 of it without even thinking. And then it becomes $25 a month. Then $40, then $75. The $10 isn't the destination, it's the practice run. And the person who invests nothing for 20 years? They don't just miss the $5,890. They miss the behavior. They're still starting from zero, except now they're 20 years older and the window is smaller. This isn't about getting rich fast. This is about stopping the slow drift of never starting. And that's something you can do with almost nothing. So here's how. 4 steps, real ones, for where you actually are. Step 1. Find the leak before you try to save. Before you touch any investing app, you need to spend 1 week, just one, tracking where your money actually goes. Not budgeting, not restricting, just watching. Most people think they know where their money goes. They don't, not precisely. There's always a category that surprises them. A subscription they forgot about, delivery fees that added up, small charges that individually felt like nothing. The action for today. Go into your bank app right now. Scroll through the last 30 days of transactions and write down every category you spent money in. Don't judge it, just name it. You're not looking for where to cut yet. You're looking for the leak. The place where $20 or $30 disappears without you making a real decision about it. That number, whatever it is your starting point. Step 2. Stop waiting for what's left. Pay yourself before the month takes it. I'll invest whatever's left at the end of the month, is how people invest nothing for years. Because there is no left. The month always finds a way to absorb it. An unexpected expense, a social event, a bad week where you ordered food twice because you were too exhausted to cook. The shift is this. You decide on a number, even if it's $5, and you move it on payday, before you pay anything else, before you check what's due. Not because $5 is going to make you wealthy, but because you are training your brain and your bank account to treat that number as non-negotiable, like a bill. Except this bill is paid to your future self. The action for today. Pick a number you genuinely won't miss, not the number you think sounds impressive. The real number. Maybe it's $5, maybe it's $12. Set up an automatic transfer for the day after your paycheck hits. That's it. That's the whole step. Step 3. Put it somewhere that works with small amounts, not against them. This is where a lot of people get stuck, because they open an investment account, see minimums, fees, or complicated options, and close the tab forever. You don't need a complex portfolio right now. You need a place that accepts small amounts, doesn't charge you fees that eat your returns, and puts your money in something simple and diversified. Platforms like Fidelity, Charles Schwab, or apps like Public allow you to start with no minimums and invest in fractional shares or broad index ETFs. You can literally buy $5 worth of a fund that tracks the entire US stock market. The action for today. Open one account, just one. Don't research 5 platforms. Pick one that has no account minimum and no monthly fee. Transfer your first amount. Done. You're not building a portfolio today. You're opening the door. Step 4. Treat it like a habit, not a strategy. Here's where most financial advice fails people at your stage. It tries to teach you strategy before you've built consistency. You don't need to know about asset allocation right now. You don't need to understand bonds versus equities. You need to make investing boring and automatic, something that happens in the background, like your phone charging overnight. The action for today. Set a reminder on your phone for 30 days from now. When it goes off, your only job is to check that the transfer happened and increase it by $1 if you can. That's the whole strategy for now. $1 more, every 30 days. That's it. Because the person who builds this habit with $10 is infinitely ahead of the person who's waiting to start until they have $200. That person might never start. You already did. Now I want to address the thought that's probably been sitting in the back of your head this entire video. But if I invest $10 right now, what does that actually change? That's nothing. That's a meal. That's gas. That's not going to move the needle on anything. And I'm not going to give you a motivational speech in response to that, because honestly, you're partially right. $10 right now is not going to change your financial situation. I won't lie to you about that. If you're carrying debt, if you're behind on a bill, if your car needs work, $10 in an index fund is not the thing that fixes any of that. But that's not actually the question. The real question is, what does the pattern of never investing, never starting, always waiting for the right time, always telling yourself you'll do it when things are better, what does that pattern cost you over 10, 15, 20 years? Let me give you the honest version of this math. Someone who invests $10 a month for 30 years at 8% average annual return ends up with around $14,900. Someone who waits 5 years to start, just 5, and then invests the same $10 a month for the remaining 25 years ends up with about $9,500. That's a $5,400 difference from waiting 5 years on $10 a month. Now scale that forward. When your income grows, and it will, even a little, and you're putting away $50, $75, $100 a month, those same 5 years of delay cost you tens of thousands of dollars. The habit you build with $10 is the same habit that compounds into real money when the amounts finally grow. You don't build that habit overnight. You build it with small, consistent, boring repetition. Starting now. And there's something else the math doesn't show. Every month you don't invest, you're making a choice, even if it doesn't feel like one. You're choosing to leave your financial future entirely up to circumstances, to hope that things will eventually line up, to wait for a moment of readiness that, for most people, never really comes on its own. Starting with $10 is not a financial decision. It's a declaration. It says, I am not waiting anymore. I am not leaving this entirely to chance. And that shift, that internal shift, is worth more than the $10. So here's where we land. You don't need to have money to start investing. You need to start investing to eventually have money. The sequence matters. The habit comes first. The amounts grow later. Find the leak. Pay yourself before the month takes it. Put it somewhere simple with no fees, and treat it like a habit, not a strategy, not a sacrifice, not a grand financial plan. Just a small, consistent act that you repeat until it becomes part of how you live. That's it. That's the whole thing. You're not behind because you're irresponsible. You're behind because nobody taught you this in a way that matched your actual reality. That changes today, if you want it to. If this video gave you something real, not hype, not empty motivation, just something honest and usable, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this content reach the people who need it most. People who are tired of advice that wasn't built for them. And drop a comment right now. I want to know, how much are you actually working with at the end of the month? It can be $30, it can be $0. No judgment here, just real answers. Because when people see those numbers in the comments, they realize they're not alone. And that matters more than any financial tip I can give you. And if you want to keep going, the video showing up on your screen right now is the next step. It's about what to do when you have debt and you're trying to invest at the same time, because those two things don't have to be enemies. Watch it. I'll see you there.